Now he's got to try to tank it up. Senna ult over the top, who he's still at about half HP. Fudge coming in, looking to complete the dive as Berserker goes on a rampage. Joplay is thrown back into the team. All out goes Fudge, all in goes Contract, but he's 1v5. He ain't alive. Everybody died at C9. 3 for nothing.
And then it'll cost.
Ending the game, guys. Maybe we can get a win here.
Wow, C9 is
Maybe we
back.
can win, maybe?
C9 is back.
Nice, we're back.
This feels weird. What? I'm not used to this.
Mortals regroup. They're going to be healed and shielded by Armeo's Ivern, but now Rich wants to drive in. It's Ole right in the middle of everybody, but Tomo's ready to counterattack. Castle wants to smolder, but he ain't going to find him. Tomo's already killed off 2, and now Immortals, where can you even go? A triple kill back to Smooth.
Nice.
Let's go.
I actually didn't even do anything.
Nice.
Yeah. If we even farm this like that.
No fighting.
Look at this clear this one, guys.
Wow.
Nice.
Sniper.
Target my full wave, but no choice. He'll heal up. He'll be like 50.
He'll be forward turret.
Stay here. Does Oriana vault or did he out?
Aatrox tank. Aatrox.
Yeah.
Can you guys
Think
hold
for
on?
us.
I think we can.
Well, I'm getting one shot by this. Just do it. What the heck?
Good smite, the shield, the healing is going to be enough. Wolverine, they get it. It's a heist, baby. And 100 Thieves are out of there.
How did I die? Good.
They're very kind of strong.
Monster's able to deal the finishing blow alongside Bwipo. Here comes Boogie. Cyclone finds the baby dragon, as now Bwipo is left to scraps. But
Armor.
Azael the push.
I'm tipping now.
Okay.
Let's keep stalling. Okay. Let's stall.
Nice.
Well
Nice,
played.
Nice.
Can we Baron?
We should have gone for Zeri, guys, we are first place killer!
First place killers. I mean, that's all of their wins.
Yes.
All of their wins are against first place.
It's actually
Absolutely.
insane.
So you didn't pick them to win today.
No, they're not playing first place. Welcome to Waiting Room. We have to say hello to Kelsey. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks. Happy to be here.
Kelsey, you've worn many hats through the past few years. Do you want to tell the audience what you've been up to?
Yeah. So obviously I haven't been up to much lately, but I was on stage coaching for EG last year. And then before that, I was producer for an ACL. I worked a little bit with you guys as well on that capacity. And then before that, I did a lot of stuff with Academy in North America. Currently, I do some LPL co-streaming because I'm also a big LPL fan. Like Emily, Raz, and I kind of go back talking about that stuff. So
Yep.
It's true.
Good times. There was China Talk. There was LPL-EN. There's a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Jatt, for appearing on the special revival episode of China Talk.
There we go.
I know.
Actually, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Well, I know on Making the Rounds, you have Emily give a take, and then you coach her how to make it a hot take.
Yeah.
What is your hot take about the LCS?
Oh, my hot take about the LCS, putting me on the spot. This is usually not how this goes.
Yeah. Usually I'm the one put on the spot.
I guess my hot take about the LCS right now is that like we're getting to see a lot of the faces that we sort of always knew were good get like an amazing shot, and that this makes it so that the big unexpected thing with Energy and C9 not doing well has a lot more to do with the players that we always knew were good finally getting the opportunity to show it. So
Nice.
That's a very good take.
Yeah, that's a good
like
take.
it. I mean, it's a positive take for sure.
Yes, it's not a flaming take.
And it's almost a little unfortunate that like the esports winter is, I think, part of what accelerated this. But like literally the fact that 100 Thieves is like, well, I guess we're not playing with Doublelift and Bjergsen anymore, and they retired. Yeah. But I think they would have just ran it back with Doublelift and Bjergsen if Doublelift and Bjergsen didn't want to retire. Yet it feels like this roster here, Quid, Meech, Eyla, Sniper, River as the veteran, and they're second place.
Yeah.
When they were nowhere close to that with their superstar Hall of Fame roster.
It's actually crazy because I know it's been a running gag where every start of year we'll put out our preseason like power rankings, and then it's just one team that makes it astronomically wrong, and it's immediately, we already know it's 100 Thieves. Like, we already know.
Absolutely.
Because we had them as like either 6th or 7th, and now they're tied for, no, they're
actually
sole
second.
position.
Yeah, they have
for now.
So kind of disgusting from us, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, they're going to be the first game. We're going to preview them closer to the 0 on the 24-minute clock right now. But we have to talk about Smolder because we were the first major region to have them available. We got Smolder appearances in 50% of the games, and in this one, he popped off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's surprising that Tomo was the one to pull out the Smolder just because he has been spamming it in solo queue. I was wondering how much of a trade-off AD carries especially were going to consider the laning phase, but it sounds like they don't think it's as bad and or they feel like they have time to scale up regardless.
You can push the wave with W. I think that's the biggest thing. You're just like neutralizing the laning phase as much as possible.
And a lot of times it feels like, depending on the team, of course, like it's pretty easy to get stacks, like as a whole. Not only is it like we've talked about being able to farm up Krug, specifically Tomo talked about being able to just cycle Raptors if you end up getting that. So like that front, if it's like a standstill game, you can get that. Also, if there's just constant scrapping, if your draft is good enough that gives you space, then you're just getting stacks off of just champions. So there's a lot in which you realize, okay, the game is slow enough apparently where you're just going to be able to get to your like 225th stack, so you can do that.
Yeah.
So it feels like Smolder's a lot stronger than it is. And it's funny, we talked about 100 Thieves. They're the one that started the day by banning it.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's much stronger than people expected.
Cloud9 also broke their streak. They didn't lose 5 games in a row. Kelsey, what do you make of C9 so far?
C9 have been very interesting to me. I think on paper, their players don't immediately work together well and or don't immediately have a strong footing in the meta. Obviously, all of their players are individually strong and flexible, so I think it's a matter of time before they sort of figure that out. For me, it's interesting just seeing Blaber and Jojo work together because I think their playstyles are both like kind of, I'm Blaber, I'm going to farm, and Jojo, I'm really, really going to hard focus on the lane phase. So finding them an opportunity to get that synergy down, I think will be when we see Cloud9 really open up and take over again. So.
Do you think this is more like the stuff that will be their best, or do you think it's a different combo?
Yeah.
This is a very traditional Azir Sejuani.
Yeah, Azir for sure seems like the easiest pick for them because it's a JoJo pick that also, you know, gets like wave push to an extent, lets Blaber farm like pretty easily. So I'm expecting them to have more iterations of things that work for them as time goes on, but for now this is like the obvious one. Right?
Yeah, and I think just talking about energy, which is super tragic for them.
Yeah.
Like yesterday they were the first game of our day, and they were on a 2-game losing streak against like bad teams, and they are the defending champions, yet all of us were like, what's wrong with C9? And then like C9 beats Energy and Energy falls to a 3-game losing streak further in the standings, and we're like, wow, C9, what a game. But again, Energy is kind of just this enigma. What do you take, Raz?
It's funny because I like the fact that we're talking about both of them in a sequence because C9 won off of NRG's mistakes. they had a failed dive bot lane. They had another weird play in the jungle as a mistake. Also, their loss to Shopify Rebellion was another failed dive as a 2v2 bot lane that really doomed their lane. I think their decision making at times is just poor. Yeah. And it's like it's happening pretty early on in their games. And I think right now the 2 players that I think are playing really well are FBI and Palafox. Whereas I think Dokla's been having some tough times in lane. In fact, versus Fudge in that last game, I think he had a pretty rough laning phase. And then also got killed off of Cassante ulti through the terrain, straight into Sejuani's lap. So I just think certain members have to start playing a little better. And if they're trying to look for a dive bot lane off of what I'm expecting to be a constant, which is FBI and who he wants to scrap as much as possible. Like if they can get an advantage in lane, that's what they want to do. Then Contract should just be pathing towards it. And I think that's been failures in certain parts of their games.
Yeah. Also, production has told me that we have another secret exam.
Okay.
So, we did this last year. We're doing it again. So today we'll be guessing pro solo queue accounts using their yearin.lol page. So we're going to have 30 seconds to guess each one, and the time starts as I finish reading this. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, where are we looking?
I need to see it. Oh, it's so small. Okay. So 2023 stats: 1,600 games.
1,600.
Yeah.
163 Jace, 115 Kennen. Okay, are these
I think this is
LCS?
Dokla.
Are these LCS
I think
players?
that's Dokla.
I think it's Dokla.
Yeah.
They're all going to be LCS players.
Yeah.
This,
It is Jokla.
Yeah.
That's Dokla.
All right.
Final answer.
Boom!
Oh, nice. Okay, next.
I watch enough of his streams.
We didn't even need 30 seconds. We're going to do this in 15.
I know. Let's go.
Give us the next page. 2 at once.
Two
Whoa.
at the same time.
A bot lane duo.
And
okay.
they better be on the same team, otherwise this is trolling.
So I see Aphelios, Zeri, I'm thinking Yon I feel it's very.
The Silas one is a little bit interesting.
I was
don't
thinking
think
Meech.
Core's most Pike.
I was thinking Meech and Ayla.
Yeah, it's the.
Yeah, it could be. Oh,
No way. No way.
Is
Ayla's
it
most Pike is
Masu?
Pike.
It's not Masu Busio, is it?
I think it would be.
I mean, Ayla has been playing a lot of Pike, but he didn't last year.
Pike
Masu
Blitz.
Busio
Pike
or-
Blitz, Masu Busio,
Yes.
yes.
Pike in
Let's
there.
go.
Yeah, you have
There
to
you
go
go.
off the Pike. Next.
All right, another bot lane duo.
Only 80 carries. Rel Ash. Okay, this is Core Young.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
Korea.
yeah.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes!
There's the
Woo,
Zeri
okay,
affiliate
last
right
one.
there.
We're 3 for 3.
We can do this. We can do this.
Okay, okay.
We got this.
This one is.
Oh, this is
Lucian-
top lane. Oh.
14.
Wait, is this isn't Raz's solo queue count again, is it?
We're going to have to
Is
lock
it?
this in. Are these players or
I
not?
Oh my God! Again.
Yes!
It is
The
right.
moment I see
knew
most
it.
play
I
Lucian.
knew
Hold on,
it.
let's stick on that one for a while.
What?
I want to dig in. We're going to dig into that later. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
like,
the
there's no
Lucian
way they
Lee
do
Sin
it
for
to-
sure is
they-
Raz. No? Lucian Lee
Yes.
Sin,
There's some gold
absolutely.
there. Let's look at the standings through just over half of the games in the regular season. FlyQuest alone in first, 100 Thieves in second, C9 Energy TL tied at third, fourth, and fifth, depending on how you like to say it, and then a three-way tie for sixth. The biggest shocker to me is the fact that no one has fewer than 3 wins. It really makes things feel so unknown. I know yesterday the LCS Discord ran the predictions down. They were 0 for 4.
True.
All of us were 1 for 3.
In fairness, we also ran our predictions.
Yeah, at least we got a game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Turtle.
at least we got a game.
Turtle bumped the aggregate guest average up by 1 game by picking
Yeah.
his own team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. So basically, you're saying that there's no pressure on me today.
No,
To be correct.
Kanga's
Yes.
already, I think, ran it down pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Let's check out the schedule. What do we have on the docket for today? Game 1, 100 Thieves Cloud9. That is suddenly a very big game.
Yep.
And honestly, you never know what's going to happen with the Mortals at the end of the day versus FlyQuest. FlyQuest thought they had an easy week going up against Shopify and Immortals, but currently sit at 0-1. And Shopify have only beat teams in first place.
True.
Yes.
And
What are you
they've
trying to
lost
say?
to literally everyone else.
Oh my God!
Wow. That
going
is
on a journey.
amazing, actually.
I feel like they could have even.
Good.
Yeah, so our producer, I believe Emin, photoshopped this. I
Yeah.
feel like he could have gone even harder by putting like Jason Wild Turtle's face in the
shell.
Show?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Or Tomio or Revan, like one of those.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good hangers on, so we're good.
Yeah, this is going to be a good day of LCS, and also because it is Sunday, it is time to bring up the fact that there is a very big game today.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
talk about
okay.
Okay. I'm interested.
Sunday, February 11th, the most important day of the year in American sports. A day where rivalries are born, legacies are forged, old stars fall, and new ones take their places on the biggest stage. A day where we find out who will triumph when the lights are brightest and lift the trophy in front of a roaring crowd. With a chance to claim ultimate glory and become the undisputed greatest team in North America. A day where a team from California takes on a team with a red logo, all played on a beautiful green field. I'm talking, of course, about week 4, day 2 of the LCS. So grab some friends, grab some food, sit down on that couch, and watch the LCS.
Oh, hey, Jatt.
Hey, Emily.
You excited about the 49ers Chiefs today? I think it's going to be a really good game.
Who the are they? What is a 49er?
It's like a prospector.
That doesn't make any sense. It's just a number. Cloud9 arriving for the big game. They're here to play 100 Thieves. 15 minutes, 45 seconds until
Starting the tailgate
Champ
early.
Select starts. Well, actually, Champ Select is starting right now. It's just going to be pre-recorded.
True.
We're going to play it on stage at exactly the top of the hour. And now we got a good bit of time to talk about it. So one thing that Kelsey talked to us about in the pre-meetings was River and Jojo.
Yeah. So obviously I was a big JoJo for MVP candidate last year, not biased whatsoever. But when you're talking about JoJo, River was, in my opinion, kind of like his ultimate antithesis. You know, we talked about Blaber, kind of like Unifarm. River likes to gank, especially mid. So whenever you're preparing to play against Golden Guardians last year, it was very much like JoJo versus River was like the biggest things. Like JoJo's gonna constantly push the lane, River's going to be there, you just take it. And then when we did scrims, of course, as well, what people don't know about JoJo is he doesn't just banter all chat, he takes it to Discord DMs after. So it's definitely one of those like Golden Guardians EG days were always just super fun for probably the wrong and less productive reasons, but we definitely had some like fun, like JoJo all chat, where are you? River says, you know, I'm mid already, like things like this, and then they would always like talk together on Discord afterwards.
Was he excessively mid against JoJo in scrims?
I don't know if it was excessively, because we would always watch Golden Guardians games, and it just felt like River liked ganking mid in general. And I remember like the GGTL game, it was like one of APA's first games where River just went mid, I think like 3 times in the first like 6 minutes or something, and JoJo was like, yeah, my jungler should play like that.
It's actually insane watching River play last year because he would just Vi Q or Jarvan EQ into the mid lane bush just so he can dodge a ward and then gank mid. You're like, all right, man, you're committed.
Yeah, and I think we have one game against them from last split where there was just an absolutely disastrous level 1. So we're gonna play this clip to set up the story.
Yeah, so it wasn't like the level 1 was kind of like, I think Golden Guardians afterwards, like River even said, they didn't necessarily expect us to invade, and then our invade just went wrong, but then we went for these bot dives, right?
Yeah.
And this play just got completely stalled out because the entire time, like, all of the EG players were like, oh my gosh, he's on the ward. Does he know that he's on the, he knows, he's mind gaming us, like, this kind of situation. So we just like didn't go for the dive, you know?
Wow.
It was, so for me, like River JoJo is just iconic, no matter what teams they're on, it's gonna be a good time, so.
The River just lived rent-free in their heads. That's kind of amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
He's a landowner.
But I mean, it was great because we had like some back and forth. We won a lot of the games against them. They won a lot of games against us. So it was a good time. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then fast forward to now, River switched teams again. He's in second place, even though the roster at the start of the split didn't look like it was going to be that much. And Quid has been someone who got a ton of talk yesterday, but has also been getting some talk throughout the split of like the massive improvements that he's made. And then it's kind of a question of like how much of that is because of River and how much of that is because of his own improvement. Like this is a clip from last year when Quid was playing against JoJo.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing for me though is this play is just really crazy because JoJo is like, I won lane level 1, right? That's the story, and then Armeo and they set up a dive, but in scrims, Quid was actually always like doing pretty decently in lane. Like I don't think he was ever like too terrible or anything like that, or he didn't like get completely gapped. And obviously this was his very first game in LCS, so you gotta imagine there was like jet lag, etc.
Right.
And since then we've seen Quid improve, especially like in his games against JoJo over time. So.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear it later from Golden Glue when I talk to him going into this matchup. And one of the things he actually did cite is the biggest improvement for Quid was not in his actual play, but it was mental, because his scrim performance was so disparate compared to his stage performance because he did have a lot of nerves. And Golden Glue actually addresses that in talking about it's not just River, right? Because obviously having River on your team as a mid laner, we just covered, is going to be really great. But it's also kind of this mental shift that apparently he made from last year to this year.
Hi guys.
There we go. Hello.
Nice.
And that's the thing. I think with this team, there they are. I think with 100 Thieves, what surprised me, specifically with Quid, because I remember when he first was coming in before that split, there was a big conversation about like, okay, how good is he going to be? And from a lot of players that played against him in solo queue, they were speaking him up. So it definitely does feel like, as you mentioned, a mental thing. And I was just looking into the stats. It's really funny. Both of these players, they get a lot of jungle attention from the opposing jungle. Both of them lead in terms of opposing jungle proximity. Because of course, people want to gank JoJo.
Yeah.
And with how often you are seeing Quid and River play amongst each other and looking for ganks, looking for plays, they usually play through mid. That's also where the enemy jungler is targeting. And
I think Quid has improved. It's hard to ignore, but I'm Team River in this situation. Because to me, last split, there were so many games where I thought, man, this gory guy, he really shuts down the enemy mid. But then the more you rewatch games, you're thinking, No, it's this River guy that's actually destroying the enemy mid laner. Like, I think if you were to try and break down junglers by like which lane do the opponent teams hate the most, I might have messed that up. Enemy mid laners probably hate playing against River more than any other jungler in the entire league.
Yes.
And that will make his own mid laner look so much better because there's just like this extra man that he's playing against more so than when he's with other junglers. So like if 100 Thieves keeps this up, I'm thinking like River MVP because it like from expectations to reality, how much this team has improved. I think so much of that has to be attributed to the veteran presence of River, but it's hard to say without being inside of it all.
It's definitely the case, and you're just hearing from players that are on the same team with River, they always credit him with just how much he does, even just like out of game. Like when they go into review, a lot of the times people always speak up River. I will say for Quid, once again, it makes it easier if you have some like a team that you can play off of and a team that has like a pretty clear identity. Because, hey, he's the kill leader right now of mid laners. I mean, a lot of that, yes, comes from his champion pool, but there's the confidence how often they fight. And the 100 Thieves drafts have also been something that has stood out as being particularly successful.
Yeah, I really love 100 Thieves drafts. This is kind of a spread of some of the drafts we've seen from 100 Thieves thus far. Some interesting flexes. We already pointed out the Aatrox flex, and again, it's worth reiterating that this was something that Quid has actually spammed in solo queue a lot, so they felt really comfortable in flexing between those two lanes and then taking the Olaf top instead. Obviously, everyone knows about Sniper locking in Riven in his first stage game, but this is kind of just a cool example of 3 very different drafts in my opinion that also showcase how well the coaching staff seems to be communicating with the players, asking them what they want to play, and also finding things that are cohesive but lean into their strengths.
I think that's incredibly important when you said the fact that it leans into their strengths, and they just, a lot of times when you bring in young players and your scrims are really scrappy, it doesn't translate into stage because you're just scared on stage. You're unwilling to bring that out.
Oh, this team ain't scared.
No.
They ain't scared. They bring that out, and they are the bloodiest team right now in the world. That's the craziest thing. So for combined kills per minute, it's insane to see how often they fight. And even just hearing from Grayson Golden Glue, who was here earlier, of course.
You played him in basketball.
Yeah, he kicked your butt, I heard.
Conveniently ignoring that.
Yeah.
No! Look, I lost by 1 shot. By 1 shot.
Okay, all right.
I lost $20 out of it. I need a But he told me, he said the funniest thing too is that when players are asking, he's like, oh, are we playing for Herald or are we playing for Drake? River would be like, we must fight. We must.
Yeah.
So like it leans into, hey, if it's something that they're doing in scrims, it's actually translating on stage, and now they find themselves second place in the league.
And we have so much to talk about. We haven't even talked about VULCAN versus Eyla. There was a huge beef with VULCAN versus Eyla when they were in the FlyQuest situation, and crazily enough, it's a really close career head-to-head with all the team bouncing these two guys have done actually across the last 2 years. Eyla being FlyQuest to EG now here, and VULCAN with FlyQuest now to Cloud9. So we don't have time to necessarily get into that rivalry, but I imagine there could be some beef on social media when the two of them finish this game.
Even the score.
We have the coach interview. Emily caught up with 100 Thieves coach Golden Glue ahead of this game, so take a watch.
Hello, I'm here with 100 Thieves coach Golden Glue before your match today. So thank you for taking the time to join me. One of the most impressive things about your team has actually been how you've been drafting for them. So I want you to take me through the draft process for 100 Thieves as much as you can.
Yeah, so I think relatively to the other teams, we actually have a pretty short draft process. I feel like a lot of it is me and Sam Spooks, the strategic coach. We kind of like figure out what locked bands we don't want to play against for certain teams. And then we just run through what we think the most likely scenarios are. A lot of times it's just reacting in the moment. And I feel like usually the good drafts, like we already have our set plan, but usually it's just like catching mistakes I feel like the other team is making. And a lot of times, like when we're drafting versus ourselves, it's actually harder than when we're actually drafting on stage. So it's just that different teams have different priorities and they have different opinions. So that's kind of like the gist of our strategy.
Thank you. Did you know, so today you're taking on C9, did you know that JoJo has kind of a thing against River? They have a little rivalry.
No, I was totally unaware. Can you enlighten me? What's the beef?
Do you think that River is aware of this?
Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe he hasn't mentioned it. So, but I don't know if River would have mentioned it anyway. So I'm very curious now. I'm very intrigued.
I think it's more that River is a jungler that other teams find difficult to play against, especially mid laners, considering how he tends to target mid lane. He and Quid have been working really well together this year. So talk to me a little bit about them, because I think Quid's improvement has been astronomical from last year to this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy to see Quid performing so well. And in practice for the whole first month, he was just like, honestly, obliterating all the mid laners. And I could kind of tell from the beginning that he was going to have like stage issues at the beginning. And he has done a really good job of, like, I guess, conquering his fears and kind of relaxing. It feels really good too, because it was like the same problems that I struggled with as a player, was like getting over that stage anxiety and be able to play as well as you can in practice. And it kind of just like overnight clicked for him, where he was just like, one morning before our match, he was just like, Grayson, like, I figured it out, like, I just don't care anymore. and then ever since then, I think that was the morning of the Aatrox versus Sion game, where he was just like an absolute demon. So it's really happy to see that. Yeah,
that's awesome. Did you have any like specific advice you gave him, or it was just he figured it out and it clicked?
I did give him the advice that I thought was useful of, you know, there's actually a book I read a while ago called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F Word. I don't know if we're allowed to curse here. Yeah, and I think it's a pretty like pop psych book, and it's pretty easy to apply. To just like, sometimes when you try to control things too much, you end up like not being able to get the outcome that you want. And sometimes you have to like relax, let things go as they be, I suppose, and like let things flow. And it's really worked for Quid, so I'm happy to see it. I don't know if that's what caused the change, but he's doing a great job of applying it.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time, Grayson. It's always great to talk to you, and we'll send it back to the lounge.
Love hearing from 6 year ago Scrim God Golden Glue.
There we go.
on the way
Yes.
Quid's been able to progress. But let's look at the predictions for today. We're going to be tossing it up to the stage in a minute. So, do we have any differences? Kelsey with the spice.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to make it a bit interesting, but I mean, really, I think 100 Thieves, like, they have been playing very coherently together, and I feel like C9's missing that a little bit. So I'm even though C9 won yesterday, you still saw a little bit of that coming out. So I think 100 Thieves have a real shot to take it home with the momentum today, especially if they make it a bit spicy here and there with the jungle angle. I think especially also for TL's Shopify. I mean, I think this one is probably the most surprising, but like I need them to break the curse. You know?
Shopify is really hard to predict.
Yeah, seems like you're a shop-a-lever.
I think they played very well yesterday when they just went for the simple Zyricon, Orianna stuff. They're really going to comfort. Like, Fake God Aatrox was his absolute comfort pick, so.
C900 Thieves in 2 minutes. Let's send it up to the stage to get us in the game.
Welcome back to the LCS. It's week 4, day number 2. We're starting things off here with our second place team, 100 Thieves, looking to give the Cloud9 doubters a little bit more ammo. After that, Dignitas are looking to make it a perfect week as Energy try to bounce back from yesterday's loss. Then, Team Liquid, sitting at 4-4, are staring down a Shopify squad that just took down first place FlyQuest. And rounding out the week, that FlyQuest squad will look for a rebound after their upset loss yesterday, and Immortals will look to replicate Shopify's success. I'm Captianflowers here with Azael for the first couple of games, and my good buddy Raz joining us for the TriCast in game number 1. How you gentlemen doing?
Doing real well. I mean, this one's going to be exciting just because at least the momentum shift has been there for Cloud9. For 100 Thieves, just pure confidence. The fact that they've come into second place, no one has expected that. And they've done it as the bloodiest team in the world with the highest combined kills a minute so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, I think, how well 100 Thieves has been doing. And even talking to 100 Thieves, talking to Golden Glue, he's like, yeah, I'm surprised too, Like, hey, what can I say? They weren't expecting to be this hot out the gate. There's a lot of young players on the team. There's a lot of players who they thought were going to need time to actually be able to adjust to the LCS stage. It has not really been the case because they have been so good, so fast. And I do think it's going to be a good test here for Cloud9 because, yeah, despite the fact that they won yesterday, was not the cleanest win from Cloud9, was not the most dominant win. It was more, I think, capitalizing on their opponent's mistakes than really kind of enforcing their will on them.
Exactly. Like, the first thing that comes to mind was that bot lane dive that was botched by NRG. I mean, Blaber was a little late to it. And also, if they had gone a little bit cleaner from Huhi's side of it, then Cloud9 would have started in a deficit. That didn't happen, though, and they were able to get a lead. Honestly, felt like Fudge had a great game in that one versus Dokla. He was able to get an early game lead, was able to then alley-oop Dokla straight into his jungler's lap and get a kill. So my eyes are on Fudge. I remember his interview saying that he's focusing on lane, just kind of realizing that he's kind of walked away from that for the past year and a half or so. So love to see that from him. Udyr's been banned, so I'm sure he's happy about that.
All right, we get the Udyr, the Orianna, the Callista all banned away by 100 Thieves. C9 banning out Poppy, Cassante, and Senna. Now, I'm not going to get too excited for this yet, even though we already played it once. Yeah. I will not be bamboozled.
It probably won't be blind. I'm going to be interested to see if we're seeing more Smolder here. Obviously, we saw it a couple times yesterday. I'm still in the more tanky build Smolder waiting room. I think that is so much more powerful. So I'd love to see that coming out today. But a lot of key picks here. Things like we haven't seen a lot of Rumble in the LCS, but Rumble is still very high prio around the world. And on 14.3, I still think it is pretty solid. So it would be interesting to see if we're getting any of those kind of picks here, coming out.
Well, powerful early laner there in the Varus for 100 Thieves in the bot lane. So what does C9 want to answer that with? We've seen a couple of different hovers. Generally, if you go for something like the Zeri or the Smolder, if Varus has an aggressive lane partner, he can try to take early control, take early prio, punish that a bit. So C9 might be looking for something a little bit more early game flavored. Or no, Berserker going back to the Zeri.
There it is. I mean, off the Zeri buffs, it makes sense that Berserker would want to go right back into it. We were so successful on that pick last year. Meanwhile, Meech going towards the Varus, which was the first pick that they had in the last game, makes it easier for them to counter pick a little more for Quid and Meech, or at least Quid and Sniper, that is. So interested to see what 100 Thieves start responding to now seeing the Sejuani pick there.
Yeah, Zeri, I mean, that is really, I think, the signature pick, for Berserker. Did get buffed on this patch, obviously, so it would be interesting to see how he's going to perform on it. He did play the Varus yesterday. That was obviously taken away. Zeri not expected to really kind of win a lot of lanes against the Varus. Is dependent upon the support matchup, but generally speaking, you are going to be a bit on the back foot. River on the Vi, I feel like this is kind of more so than the Jarvan lately becoming his iconic pick. He is so good about how he plays around enemy cooldowns, really punishes missing summoners, really punishes missing, ultimates and things like this so effectively on it. We saw him play this exact same combo yesterday with Quid, who I thought had probably the best game I've seen from him in the LCS yesterday. His Taliyah game was incredible, and really a big part of that is his coordination with River.
Absolutely. This wombo combo of Vi and Taliyah working together is awesome on its own, but remember that Vi initially started being picked as an answer to Zeri during the great plague upon society that was Zeri meta for a full year. This was one of the answers. She can't kite you forever if you just point and click, blow her up before she gets the chance. That's the strategy. That's the play for River and Quid.
Akali being locked in for JoJo is going to make it a little easier than it was yesterday. I swear that guy was sweating when he was going up against this exact same combo from NRG. I felt like it was so close where he was just going to get one shot. I thought JoJo was playing out of his mind until he finally got stopwatch as his third item. So I was like, thank God for that. So he doesn't want to be put in that same position.
I will say, though, you've drafted 3 champions with dashes into Taliyah.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the rocks are pretty powerful here. And, like,
the unraveled earth.
If you're trying to surf over them, it's not going to go too well for you. Obviously, Akali is going to be stunned if you're using the Shuriken Flip or the ultimate ability against Taliyah's unraveled earth. So, I do think that is something to watch out for. But, if you use the E for wave clear, then Akali can find windows to really go aggressive in this matchup. So
yeah.
You can't just be spamming the E on cooldown trying to push the wave as easily, I think, against Akali, because you can get punished for that. Obviously, Akali plus Sejuani as well. That is one of those melee pairings that can work pretty well. Helps you stack up the passive, gives you that early game power in the 2v2s. so could be looking to play pretty heavily around that, knowing that River is going to be very likely targeting JoJo in mid lane to try to play around Quid.
Well, with 80 carries, junglers, and mid laners picked by both teams in the first half of the draft, it means we still need to see top lane from both sides. We still need to see support from both sides. It's Riven and Gwen both banned out. C9 respecting the fact that Sniper's the type of player who's not afraid to lock in these carries.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's currently tied in solo kills with Whippo. Sniper's been having a really great split thus far, and it's been off the Aatrox. So I feel like Aatrox is the value pick that's probably expected for 100 Thieves. I'm wondering what it's going to be for Fudge. If Fudge fourth picks it or has a good counter pick, that's what I'm interested in.
Well, and I think you wouldn't be banning Riven if you're not going to be blind picking on 4 for top lane here. It's kind of my assumption. I think that they do want to play, support counter pick on 5, try to get a winning lane down there. So I'm expecting that Fudge is going to be blind. Otherwise, I just don't see why you would have to ban Riven. Most top laners that I talk to aren't really worried about it if they have it, a pick that can answer. They're only worried about it if they are blind. So we'll see what the choice is going to be here for Fudge. It's going to be Olaf coming through. So Olaf blind is pretty bold. But it is pretty strong into a lot of the meta picks, things that we're seeing these days. It is something that can go really, really aggressive. Again, it's another melee pairing with the Sejuani, so Blaber is going to be focusing very heavily on the top side by all expectations that I have.
Right, and when you look at carries like Taliyah, like Varus, they really need Peel to be able to survive. It's not going to work against Olaf. If he gets ahead of the game, Fudge could just run over both of the carries locked in there so far. So let's see what the response here from 100 Thieves will be. Looks like Milio down there in the bottom lane paired with a Varus.
Okay, so Milio going to be down in the bottom lane. I'm going to be interested to see, what Sniper is willing to bring out. Would he be going for something that is kind of maybe something that can kind of answer power with power? Try to go something aggressive in the top lane. There are some really spicy counter picks for it. Things that people used to play, like Kled into it. Is considered a pretty good matchup. But it is going to be Aatrox, so it is going to be one of those more standard picks that you were expecting, Raz.
Yeah.
And so C9 definitely should be expecting it as well. And we'll just have to see, because, in my experience in this kind of a matchup, it's very much about, can the Aatrox kind of keep the Olaf poked down to the point where the Olaf can't actually attempt an all-in? Or, can the Olaf find these windows where you are high health, where you can look for those kind of 100-0 plays? Because I do think it can really go heavily in your favor. You're going to be immune to the WCC. You're going to be immune to the Q knockups as well. And if you're actually just full health to dead, brawling with this guy, I think Olaf should be able to take him down.
That's why if I'm 100 Thieves, you have to think about playing towards bot lane a little bit more, because Varus and Milio, I think, makes a lot of sense if you want to start scrapping. It's going to be Vulcan's Bard, so a lot weaker of a laning phase. So if you can set up for a dive, that's where my eyes go. Because I think if you look for a 2v2 top lane with both Sejuani and Olaf, you are going to die. I think it's going to be hard. So for Cloud9, to me, it makes it easier for them to actually want to start looking for grubs and perhaps actually focusing on trying to dive Sniper a little bit more. So going to see how that goes for 100 Thieves to try and play around it.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because with the Bard, as you say, it is a weaker laning phase, but at the same time, if they can just cover Berserker on these stacked waves, cover any sort of dive timings, he can get out on the map and be really, really active because they really want to scrap on the rest of the map. Like, the top side for C9, I think, is really good at fighting as soon as they get those ultimates online. And if Vulcan can get it on the map and be a part of that, it could be really effective for them.
So who do you guys think got the edge in the draft now that everything's said and done? We got all 10 champions locked in.
Like, you may be named Sniper, but I think C9 got the headshot with the Olaf pick. I'm a big fan of it, so I like the draft. I think it's a big thumbs up. It really depends on, as you mentioned, if Cloud9 can cover the dive opportunities. I think Blaber was slow in the 3-minute dive last game. I think that's certainly something you review going into this game.
Nothing happening at level 1. Okay. I was kind of hoping maybe we could get some death ball. Maybe we can get some craziness. Sejuani with a bunch of melee buddies, but not quite. Looks like we're just going to make sure that nobody's doing any late invades here. Sniper and Fudge staring each other down in the top side as everybody else just positions around where you would normally expect to see those early wards dropped on Raptor camps. And sure enough, there it is.
Yeah, and I think if I'm afraid of either team going for a level 1, it would be C9. Not only do you have Sejuani stun, you have Olaf Qs. That's the only thing I'd be worried. I think Fudge wants to go for an early ward to at least get vision on where River is starting.
I think something that's going to be really interesting for this game is, how these junglers play around their mid laners. Both of these guys, do like to play pretty heavily with their mid laners. They're strong players in that duo. It's one of the reasons that Cloud9 wanted to get JoJo was to be able to have this really strong mid laner to play around. And it kind of is a focus for them. And River has also been very heavily focusing in a lot of the successful games on playing around Quid. You can also see that VULCAN there did a W start, so that's why JoJo went for that early trade there. It was what looked like a losing trade, but there was 2 Ws there stacked up for him, and you saw Fudge just pick up another one as well. So it's about a full potion's worth of health that JoJo just gained for free. Yeah. Because VULCAN is starting W level 1. It of course means on bot side, you're not going to be trading at all level 1. You're just going to accept the fact that you're going to be pushed in. You're going to be kind of sitting back. But those health shrines are actually very, very powerful for your solo laners.
Yeah, it's insane. Honestly, if you're ever part of those scrims where sport's like, all right, who wants the Cocos? Because it just makes it so you can win your lane that much harder. So you don't want to make it a debate.
Quid and JoJo, neither one of them afraid of getting scrappy here early on level 2. Both of them popping those potions down to only a couple hundred HP. But you can see Blaber coming around, moving into his top side jungle there as the ward placed down by River earlier on expires.
And as Azael said earlier, something that we do have to focus on is mid. Blaber gets caught in the ward. Great timing from Quid as he's pushing the lane out. That's my biggest fear, as Akali is just going to be a demon with Sejuani if she can hold the wave at her turret, but as long as Quid can get the shove in, that's great. The opposing jungle proximity for both of these mid laners have just been through the roof, so that's something that both Blaber and River will have in mind. If if VULCAN has moved, then that's going to be really worrying for Quid.
Well, it's also one of the things I think is really interesting about us being on live patch is that you have to relearn some of these matchups. You know, how many times did JoJo play Akali versus Taliyah since the Taliyah buffs came through, right? Like how many times, have you actually been in this specific matchup? Because Taliyah both got the cooldown off the E and higher damage on the Q, and JoJo getting very low here. Yeah. To be able to hop away. But it gives Taliyah more push in these lanes, so you have to kind of readjust to how you play them. And so it's one of these things that it makes, playing solo queue really important. It makes the scrims in the weeks leading up to these new patches very, very important for these teams, because you've got to be on point with your practice. Make sure you're getting the most possible out of these games.
Especially if you are a team that's struggling early, which C9 has been. The fact that they've been on a 4-game losing streak obviously ended up taking a win their last game. But if you're both juggling, trying to work on your fundamentals and synergistic points, like if you're trying to work as a team better, but at the same time, there's been a huge patch that's dropped and you have to work on different picks that you're not really confident on. There's a lot that can come into play here, so it's nice to see C9 kind of starting to get some rhythm back, but it must have been a difficult scrim week.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to get that rhythm back, right? This is their first round robin results. They did go 3-4, not kind of the result that was expected at all. And I think it was made even more weird by the fact that they were killing teams in the first couple games, right? They came out and everyone's like, yep, this is what we expected. They look insane. They won every lane and they killed you in a team fight, and then the game ended, right?
Yep.
But they followed that up by one loss where you're saying, well, if this first loss was against Shopify and there was a bad dive bot, but that's not going to happen again.
Right.
And then it started to be another loss and another loss, and you're like, okay, well, what is actually wrong with this team? What is going on? And it puts a lot of pressure on these players and on this squad to try to fix things very, very quickly, because this split is going to go by fast. It is only 6 weeks of play.
Yeah, we are currently finishing up week 4, so we're already over halfway done. Cloud9's got to make sure they get it together. You can see the top lane is kind of the story that we were expecting to be told up there, as Sniper keeps the pressure on, tries to control the wave, make sure that Fudge never gets that confidence, that point of strength where he can try to go for an all-in, especially as both of them approach level 6. Speaking of level 6, is available for both of our mid laners, and we know how deadly both of these champions can be if they get unlocked and start rotating around the map.
Yeah, but generally it's been a quiet game. Both Drake has been up and Grubs have been up, but overall neither team has been comfortable with going for an early dragon. Not only has Meech and Eyla been having push, but also jojopyun has been supported with another pair of Cocos so he can actually continue to scrap the lane. So he's getting reinforcement.
He is hydrated.
Exactly. Quid is looking bot lane. How is he getting these moves?
Yep. And as much as we've been talking about Cloud9, you also have to talk about the other side of it too, which is 100 Thieves and the expectations versus reality. Because not only is Cloud9 doing much worse than expected, 100 Thieves is doing massively better than expected. They have been looking so good. When we talk about the power rankings for these teams, it was mostly 100 Thieves, down near the bottom. That was kind of where people were expecting them to be, but we'll see if a fight is going to break out here. 100 Thieves looking like they're just going to accept the leash on the dragon.
Yeah, C9 had started up the grubs. Blaber took 2, left the last one in the pit because they wanted to rotate down. That tells me that C9 is fully confident in taking a fight in this bottom side river if you're willing to just surrender 1/3 of that first group of grubs, but no, instead 100 Thieves are just willing to say, no, we're not doing this right now. It's not the play. VULCAN and Berserker, again, just going to be shoved back underneath the turret here. Honestly, Berserker doing a fine job dealing with the early lane pressure from the Varus.
You said 1/3 of the group of grubs. Are they like a collective? Is this like one is an arm?
What is the plural of... What do they call a group of grubs?
They're not individual
I wonder what it is.
grubs?
Yeah, is it like a pod of grubs?
It a grub of grubs?
A school of grubs? I don't know. What is the plural of grub? I don't know. We'll figure that out.
A goop of grubs?
We gotta...
These are the questions. You know?
Well, there's only one still standing. He's got no buddies left.
He's not an individual.
No, he's just part of
a very damaged
greater group of grubs. All right, Blaber.
What about when two more respawn?
Well, those are just imposter grubs.
What?
Yeah, those are just imposter grubs.
They're just a new collective?
No. They're just showing up.
The still say separate?
Yeah.
He's you guys don't know what I've been through.
Yeah, he's never going to be able to truly have the same bond with the two new grubs as Berserker has to run away with the ghost down here. Tried to step up a little bit. Meech nearly snipes him out. The hot cocoa's not going to get rid of all that.
Yeah. W does some damage when you're already low. The execute there.
That's tough. I mean, they were doing quite well, being able to soak up a lot of pressure. Speaking of, Fudge is going in, though.
Yeah, Fudge wants the all-in here with the Ragnarok Sniper. Just first bloods him.
He does it again, back-to-back days. Solo kills on these veteran top laners. He solo killed Impact yesterday. He solo kills Fudge today. And what a start to this career Sniper is having.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see if he can get away from it. VULCAN and Blaber trying to take him out here. There's not a lot of damage on these two champions, especially when River shows up to try to lock down the stronger of the two. Sniper's still incredibly low. They will be able to finish that off, but River's going to take one with them. Blaber drops as Jojo shows up, immediately fires off with a Shuriken flip, but as Quid is ready to reinforce, Jojo won't get anything back.
Nice reinforcement from 100 Thieves. The fact that Quid was able to be there so he can protect River in the R2 for Akali was nice. But that makes 5 solo kills for Sniper. Now he has sole possessions of solo kill leaders. That's insane to see from him in the top lane.
Yeah, this guy has just been incredible. And I think it's been so interesting because there was obviously a lot of community expectation and hype around him just because it's someone that you've heard about for so many years.
For years, yeah, right?
When you talk to all the top laners coming into it, there was a lot of even public interviews, people saying, he's not actually that good, you shouldn't be that excited, I don't think he's anything special. All kinds of top laners were saying this, but he's come out and I think he's really kind of surpassed people's expectations. He has been so much better than people thought so early on into the split. He talked about it in one of his interviews with us. I think it was actually yesterday after the win. Maybe it was even with an interview with you, just saying how he has been able to improve so quickly once he has been in these LCS scrims, these LCS games. The level is higher than what he is used to, and he's just been able to soak up all that knowledge and soak up all that experience, and has really been leveling up his play.
Yeah, that interview with Jatt, but the interview that I had with him on Pros, you got to really understand that he recognized that this was going to be tough to get into the league and just be able to perform and showcase the best of himself, and he was able to do that here today.
Exactly. I mean, he's able to actually chunk out Fudge, and then he kites back because, again, if you do this full 100-0 style play, the Olaf is going to win those, but he's playing around his cooldown so effectively. You know, he got the Q1, he got the early damage down on Fudge. Fudge starts backing off. Fudge looks to turn with the ulti, and he just backs off, waits till the Q3 is ready, waits till he can go back in and get that actual damage to finish him off. It's just really well played by Sniper.
I felt like he even played out the second portion of it when Cloud9 came in as reinforcement. Him 2v2ing alongside River. They get the kill on Sejuani because he played it as well as he did. So overall, great start for 100 Thieves and for Sniper specifically.
All right, so let's take a look at where everything kind of stands right now, because the gold is even. We still have the 2 grub lead for C9, but the first Drake of the game did go over to 100 Thieves. We should have the imposter grubs reinforcing the only remaining true grub here before too much longer. Remember, they all do have those individual respawn timers. C9 still rotating the jungler and the support around together, but they're not going to find a whole lot here just yet.
Yeah, you can see Jojo actually farming really well. To be in a melee versus range matchup, he's 121 CS before 11 minutes is actually kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
You basically just didn't miss any CS the entire game at that point. And they are now moving Berserker here over towards mid lane. I think C9 wants to fight for the second round of grubs here. And they're going to send Jojo down towards bot to answer Meech because he has TP. So if there's not someone down there to answer, it is going to be stopping things as we're seeing the gank counter there, but we've definitely seen a couple more ganks, I believe.
We've seen more, I think. Yeah. But it's nice to see Berserker actually now holding on mid wave, just because he did lose a wave off of that earlier poke that we saw on him, so he actually had to back away when VULCAN was roaming. So now it makes it a little easier for VULCAN to start moving alongside Blaber to find a pick while still being able to catch up in CS. So I think that's a good move here for Berserker.
I kind of want to see Cloud9 just start the grubs, to be honest with you. I mean, there's no TP on Quid, so Jojo should always be able to threaten the answer. They have TP on Fudge. He obviously just base, so maybe they're going to wait a little bit, but especially with your bot lane playing mid, when you have that strong 2v2 on top side, I feel like they should be starting up these grubs, looking to try to play around that. But for now, it is C9 not starting it up, and we can see Rivers heading back out towards bot.
Well, also worth keeping in mind, we are 12 minutes into the game. The Herald's going to take over the pit at 14, so if grubs are part of anybody's plan, they're going to have to be that sooner than later, as Jojo should be able to complete this recall. Nicely done.
And a question that I have for you, Azael, is like, who do you actually think has the scaling advantage in this game? Because it feels like Cloud9 is playing in a way where like Fudge probably feels confident taking fights going up against what Quid and River and Sniper has to offer, though he is behind in this game. They're not really pushing the tempo. So who do you think has the advantage here?
I think if it's just straight like front to back 5v5, I think it's 100 Thieves for sure. I mean, Milio I think really does make a big difference in these later fights. You're going to get almost zero value from Sejuani ult. It's so easy to just have the Breath of Life to actually cleanse that away. I also think they have really good dive to threaten Berserker, and if Akali and Olaf aren't ahead, it is very difficult for them to play. Obviously, there is always kind of the X factor of if you can come from flanks, if you can find multiple angles, then it becomes a lot easier, as things like the Varus and the Taliyah will really struggle if you're kind of coming at them from behind. But I do think if you're just looking at straight up 5v5, if 100 Thieves are marking the flanks, it's really hard to take down their comp.
That's a big if, guys, because that's why I was interested, because depends on the positioning around Quid and Meech, because for sure it's going to be hard to peel off Olaf, but if Akali gets marked, it should be easy. But in general, it's going to be tough for who's going to mark her. I'm assuming it's going to be Aatrox.
Yeah, probably Aatrox will try. And the thing is, it's like if Olaf doesn't get ahead, if Olaf is playing from behind, there's no enchanter behind him. There's no kind of ability to actually buff him up more. You can get burst down pretty heavily, right? Like if you just pop the ult and you're running straight at Varus and Taliyah and Aatrox and whatnot, like you can just get straight up burst down. So we'll have to see. I think Cloud9 was really depending upon this top side to get them a bit of an advantage and kind of play from ahead. Hasn't really been the case, as obviously Sniper got that solo kill on top side, and that's really been where the only action has been.
And it's 14 minutes into the game now, so no more plates. About a 1,000 gold lead for the side of 100 Thieves. You can see Sniper was moving into the river while he had the chance to secure the Scuttle Crab, place some vision down in the pit in case C9 wanted to rush after the Herald on spawn, as Quid makes his way back down into the bottom lane here, continuing to just deal with Jojo in this 1v1, as Jojo still maintains about that free wave lead over his opponent.
Yeah, but I will say it's going to be tough for Cloud9 here, because right now 100 Thieves have full control of mid lane. Because while Berserker is able to farm for mid, he's just getting wave consistently pushed in, which allows 100 Thieves to clear out the ward tower, and now pushes Akali off of the wave, makes it easier for them to pick Dragon up. I'm not sure. I don't think Cloud9 should fight for this at all, but that's going to be a flow that they're going to be constantly pushed in. So they're certainly going to have to fight for third Dragon, and Berserker's going to have to be willing to fight for it and be strong enough for it.
I also like 100 Thieves just, hey, you got the first Drake, prioritize the second one. If they end up trying to trade the Rift Herald back, whenever you're up against Bard, your Rift Heralds naturally have a lower value anyway, because if the Bard's on point, if he's properly tracking where the Herald handler is, he can stop the charge from being successful into the turret. But it looks like C9 are going to be the ones looking for that objective next themselves. Only a little bit of timer remaining on the Scuttle Crab vision that was secured by Sniper earlier. He is walking into what could be a very, very bad spot. He pops the world ender, but it's his world that's about to end if they aren't careful. River now diving into the middle of 3 as the teleport's ready to come in and reinforce C9. Jojo's into the back. The smoke is already popped. Sniper's trying to stay alive, but he barely gets away. Jojo ain't gonna find the kill here just yet. That cozy campfire's keeping them all warm. C9 retreating back as 5 into the topside river. Sniper lives, but it costs his flash.
Now that was so close, but my eyes were focused on that 3-inch Bard portal. I was just interested to see if they could find the pick.
Not the size of the counts, right? But we'll see how they're going to be able to do from here, because they also got both the summoners off of Meech, which is obviously a big concern potentially for that next fight. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of a scrap breaking out, though, because it looks like 100 Thieves are going to be the ones just walking away with a freebie on that Rift Herald. And they TP'd in Jojo. Jojo tried to get in the back line and finish off Sniper, wasn't able to do it. He forced out some sums, but at the end of the day, Cloud9 get nothing. 100 Thieves get a Herald and the bot lane tower. They're coming out looking really, really good. And the 100 Thieves success just kind of keeps on rolling. This team has really been cruising, and now Sniper looking for another.
Sniper wants another solo kill, this time on Jojo. The smoke has already been used. C9's going to summon up reinforcements first. Fudge makes his way into the fight as VULCAN locks him down. And Sniper bit off more than he could chew. Fudge picks him up, ties up the kills 2-2.
Great strategy from C9, bait him into thinking he's got another solo kill.
It was looking very, very killable.
Yes, especially once he got that Q1 on Akali and he was just one more away from death. I was like, oh no, he's looking for it.
I thought he was going to have him. He snaps him out of the Shroud. Sniper played this well. He didn't have his ultimate. He didn't have his flash, remind you. Otherwise, maybe could have actually chased for it. So that Q2 delays him getting back into the Shroud, which pulls him back out of it. Then the Q3 lands, and you start to think, this is going to be another solo kill here for him. But then once Sniper is fully committed, Fudge comes in with the TP. This portal coming in here from VULCAN, slowing him down with the Meech, allowing him to hit, confirms that Q. And Fudge just runs him down. Good play there from Cloud9, bailing Jojo out of what was a difficult situation.
Yeah, I mean, they recognize that they got flashed off them in the prior play too, so overall works out well for Cloud9. They're TP down, but it doesn't matter too much because of what happened prior when they were getting rip trailed, 100 Thieves that is, they're looking for a fight here.
Yeah, Blaber Sejuani ulti not doing what it wanted there, so Meech not locked down. Jojo's just going to keep pushing here in the top lane, utilize the power of the Akali there inside, keep the pressure on, but Quid making his entrance here with a Weaver's Wall, gets Jojo stuck on the right side of it. Now seismic shove back over the unraveled earth. Akali ain't getting out of that one, baby. Quid picking up a kill.
No TP available to bail him out of that one. He just got pinned in, pulls tower aggro, and Quid has a 2v1 with the turret on his side.
Oh my god. Every time I see a Taliyah ulti go through there, I wonder where it's going to pop him, but it popped him straight into the turret.
As the resident Akali hater, I am going to sleep to that clip tonight. That was beautifully done by Quid to outplay any of Akali's mobility and shut Jojo down.
And a cool fact here about this game, as we just watched Jojo die, is he actually had the second highest total CS of any major region at 14.
Whoa.
Only player with more was Showmaker.
Hold on. Blaber immediately starting things off here as River has to disengage, and Sniper's got the kill back on the Sejuani. Both junglers are going to drop, but Fudge is also killed. 100 Thieves are up 1 in the skirmish as Jojo finally makes his way into things, but 100 Thieves are ready to keep this pressure on.
Yeah, they're looking to play for the next wave. Not sure if this next one's going to be a cannon minion, but with 2 people down from C9 side,
Jojo going in. He wants the perfect execution, but it's Quid executing Jojo. A killing spree for the Taliyah. A 4,000 gold lead for 100 Thieves as they knock down the tier 2 turret.
They are just obliterating Cloud9. They try to use the portal there, a little cheeky portal to get Jojo into the backline because he didn't have that flash, but there's a lot of AoE damage coming through here. We can watch this one more time as Quid pins Jojo in, and Jojo trying to get back over the pillar. How does he pull aggro here? So is it with the E?
Oh, the minion wave.
The minions are dead. They're just dead, yeah, of course. So it's just the minions just die off. Quid just takes them down, has them pinned in. The E doesn't get him enough of space over the wall there, and you can see the frustration setting in on Jojo. The laning phase going so well for him. Dies there, comes back after the respawn. They look for an engage after Blaber's dead, and he ends up dying again.
Yeah, I was wondering how, oh wow, just based off, I think, the Taliyah Qs that were kiting backwards, they were also able to get the kill on Fudge overall. We're seeing a different side of 100 Thieves, because even off their wins, they were generally pretty scrappy. They're looking for another pick on Sniper, though.
Sniper just backing away. He's already got the Edge of Night here on the Aatrox. That second item providing the spell shield makes it much harder to find these plays against him. Yeah, he has to pop the World Ender, but he's all right just using that to escape. VULCAN will try to annoy him a little bit as he grabs the Gromp, but C9 had to commit 3 up here to take that turret, and they won't get the kill in the process, while 100 Thieves moves on to Soul Point, securing the Drake at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, and it's Ocean Soul, which is going to be really powerful for some of these drain tank style champs. Sniper, though, good flash.
Barely gets away from that one. Nicely played. As you can see in the bottom left corner, Jojo having to escape from 100 Thieves has moved back in the mid lane.
But he's been eating a lot of pressure and playing well on weak side, and that's what I've been talking about. This is a different side of 100 Thieves that we've been seeing this split. This has to be one of their lowest kill games, and generally, even just off the last game versus Team Liquid, it was up and down. The goal difference was going crazy, and so this is a lot more of a controlled game, where it feels like Sniper's playing well on the back foot, of course getting the solo kill earlier on, but it seems like 100 Thieves recognize how to be able to play the map, and that's been the difference maker.
And this is just back-to-back games where Quid is just going crazy on the Taliyah. I think he had one of his best games ever in the LCS yesterday, if not his best game, and he's following it up here again. 3-0-1 on the Taliyah, has been making moves, getting out on the map. and has been very, very effective. And I want to quickly give a correction. So it was not all major reasons. It was out of LCK, LEC, and LCS, where we have the stat tracking. Okay. We have the second highest total CS of any player in those 3 leagues at 14. So definitely was collecting a ridiculous amount of farm. Only had been passed by Showmaker in one of his games, but it has not really resulted in anything, right? You know, after that early laning phase, he was up to good 20 CS. He farmed incredibly well. Died on top lane, died on mid lane. Hasn't been able to find much from it.
And just to kind of talk about Quid a little bit more, feels like the whole conversation about how much of the success of Quid is in River, this game has to shut them up at this point. He's been playing well outside of that pick that he found on Akali. I think, yes, he has been working well with River to playoff sides in general, but the last 2 Taliyah games have just been really great for him.
Well, I think it's just kind of a cool conversation, right? Because we can see the development from this guy. Because last year, there was so much talk around, you know, how this was a wasted import slot, that he shouldn't have actually been here. We're seeing the development from Quid. You know, this is a very young player. Obviously came in, you know, I had heard a lot of talk last year that, yeah, Quid is not performing well on stage. No one really was going to debate that. Yeah. But that he was not showing what he was capable of. And in this split, people feel that he is.
Well, Blaber going for a potential engage here on 100 Thieves as they step up into the C9 red side jungle, looking to control some vision, control more of the rift, choke C9 out. It's still about a 3,000 gold lead for the Thieves as Meech gets caught. Nice Bard ulti there. 100 Thieves are going to have to try to protect him, but Blaber and Jojo are already on the mark. Meech survives only for a moment longer as Quid flashes back over the wall. C9 gets a double kill for Fudge, and they ain't done yet. Eyla and Quid are on the run, and Sniper's in the middle of all 5 C9 players. Triple kill for Fudge. Baron is the play for C9.
That was a great play from C9. Yes, Eyla was able to cleanse from the Blaber's ulti, but VULCAN's ulti that follows, be able to catch them up and then just ram straight into him was a great follow-up in that fight.
Yeah, Berserker, you know, able to be pretty much untouched in that fight, getting a lot of damage out. Fudge as well, going crazy on the Olaf. Finds that ideal fight now and has his 2 items completed off it. So we can watch this one more time. And he called it out, the initial play there. Eyla, great positioning, does cleanse it out, but then the stun onto Meech from that Bard ulti comes over the wall. He just gets piled in on by everybody. Berserker goes over the wall. He's just firing out shots from the right side of your screen. And with Fudge unstopped in that front line, chasing him down, gets kill after kill after kill. Quid gets out. Another gets out, but it is 3 kills and the Baron for Cloud9, and just like that, they're back in this game with a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves thought that they could play that one out well, and they were playing it out smart. They had Taliyah that was on top lane wave and that was able to join the fight, but there was just no way out for both Eyla and Meech in that one. And even Quid, when he joined in the fight, he took way too much damage, flashed out. There was nothing he could do there.
I mean, it had been 20 minutes of 100 Thieves building up a lead, getting those first 3 Drakes, having that 3,000 gold advantage. The plays that we were praising Quid for and Sniper for, snap your fingers, it all evaporates. The game state now favoring C9. I mean,
that's always the tough thing about League of Legends is one mistake is not equal to the other. You make a mistake post 20 minutes over by the Baron, there's such a big cost to that. You know, 100 Thieves thought they were in that power position, wanted to look to make a big play, you know, in the enemy jungle. They get punished for it. They lose the Baron. Now, very likely going to lose the Dragon off it as well. We'll see if 100 Thieves are even going to try to challenge for this Dragon. It would be their soul, but, you know, they don't have the best setup for it right now. You can see it's pretty much all Cloud9 vision, you know, down in this area. All of these wards in this entire section of the minimap are really all Cloud9.
6-6, 500 gold lead for C9, but the stats on those 3 Drakes for 100 Thieves will make up more than that. Considering the bonus stats that C9 are getting from the Baron, it could be a pretty close fight here as the TP for C9 shows they are invested. They do not want to give away this Ocean Soul to 100 Thieves. Let's see whose flashes are available. Quid and Eyla without theirs. Jojo, maybe he does. It's hard for me to tell on the thing. Hard for me to tell on the thing. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and see here. C9. They're going to go ahead and start this up, but very slowly. Blaber can tank it pretty much forever. 100 Thieves still thinking about how they want to approach this. Quid goes back into mid lane to sit down a ward. Remember, he can join the fight whenever he needs to with the Weaver's Wall. C9 already have the Drake down to 7K. TP coming in now. They're going to have Jojo brought into the whole rest of the team. Meech gets caught again. Beautiful Bard ulting as Meech tries to flash over the wall, but Jojo's ready to follow him. Cloud9 are going to bulldoze these guys again. Sniper's trying to stop him as Berserker has to flash over the wall, but he kills River while doing
it. Jojo marking Sniper with the Shuriken flip. It's 3 dead for 100 Thieves. C9 don't lose a man.
Whole bunch of credit has to go to Vulcan there. Not only does he get the ulti on Meech, but he gets a frame-perfect Q. So even though Meech flashes over the wall, is still stunned by it. So makes it so much easier for Cloud9 to follow through. Man, that was a tough one for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, that was really well done there from Cloud9. They had such a good setup as well. You know, Fudge was kind of sitting over on the side. He was playing by that blast cone, so if 100 Thieves committed into the fight, he could just take the blast cone over the wall. In this case, they're the ones engaging, so he just goes forward. And 100 Thieves really wanted to force it because that was their potential soul, but they didn't have the best setup for it. They're trying to push in all from the same side. They're opening themselves up for this engages, for these flanks from Cloud9. Cloud9 really punishes them with that, and now have opened up a 4K gold lead out of seemingly nowhere. This was 4K in the favor of 100 Thieves just a couple minutes ago, and we can watch this one more time. Fudge looking for the wraparound on the side. The TP comes in from Jojo, and then here from Vulcan, you called it out, Raz. The perfect Q here, it's gonna bind whether you flash over or not because the timing was there. It sets up Jojo to fall him over the wall.
That was crazy. I was wondering how 100 Thieves were going to play it. If, you know, Sniper was going to find a flank because the tri-bush was warded, but overall they didn't, as you mentioned, have the best positioning. But Vulcan just opens up, and so his Bard play is great. I know on Twitter you mentioned called himself out that he wasn't playing the best. This is a great response.
His whiff flash Q on Bard yesterday was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So he had to make up for it, you know?
This is a good makeup.
If you don't love him at his yesterday, you don't deserve him at his today.
All right, well, we've had about an 8,000 gold swing from the peak of the 100 Thieves lead. If you're 100 Thieves, how do you stop this? I talk about stopping the bleeding. 100 Thieves has had their leg blown off from the lead that they were running with earlier. How do you get back in this game from this point?
Find a new leg.
Just that easy.
Find a new leg.
Yeah.
That's how you win this game.
They lost their leg. Sounds like you probably need to replace that.
Okay, we got to find a new leg.
Ask a pirate.
100
Maybe get a nice peg.
Thieves.
But you know, on the real, I think it's all about the setup for the fights, right? You know, they have to. Clearly, Meech can't get caught like that. You know, not only did he get caught by the Bard ult, but he uses his flash after and dies anyway, so that is really, really costly. So they have to really be aware of the ults from Vulcan, but then marking the threats. No one is marking the follow-up from Jojo once he did get caught. No one is marking, you know, Fudge and trying to push him out. And I think that is going to become a lot tougher, though, obviously, at this point, because if you're not as strong as Fudge on that flank, he can just all in and kill you. Like, he has 3 items now, including the experimental Hexblade, which is really strong on Olaf, giving you the move speed and attack speed when you do pop that ulti.
Yeah.
So the job is obviously very, very difficult. Plus, one of the kind of quiet problems is Berserker's been farming this whole time. He's on 3 items now. So Zeri, once you hit 3 items, that's kind of that benchmark that you really do look for, where you can take over. So the answer is it's going to be really tough for 100 Thieves, but it's got to be about how they start out the fights, mark the flanks, force them into this kind of straight front to back where you can maybe win.
Something that I'm looking forward to them doing, they've actually already done. They're starting to overload a lot more and just sack a wave, this one being bot lane, just to find the fight. Here's one.
River immediately just getting bursted down. Nicely done with the Bard ult again from Vulcan, and C9 sees their green light. A double kill for Berserker. He's going to make it 3. Is this the return of the pit to kill Pikachu? Berserker's got a Quadra. Fudge trying to keep Quid locked down. Dread it. Run from it. Zeri arrives all the same. A pentakill for Berserker.
What a fight from Berserker. Finds the angle, gets the penta. And I think that could be that for this one. It's going to be a massive lead. They get the tier 2 mid. They get 5 kills on Berserker. They're going to get the Baron as well. Cloud9 decimate 100 Thieves.
I mean, I liked what 100 Thieves were trying to do. They thought they had at least one opportunity with Olaf bot lane. Sure, he had TP, but if they can get a quick pick, that would be it for them. But man, Vulcan, what is he on today? That 3-man ulti from him that were able to make it that much easier for Berserker.
PC.
I think it would be a good idea.
This is not normal gaming.
He has been really good. Has 100% KP, by the way, on the Bard.
Yeah.
1-0 and 13. 0, 0 and 14, you know, maybe the perfect score. So he has a little bit of work to do there.
Okay.
Shouldn't be stealing those kills from a team, but
room for improvement.
We can watch this one more time. I mean, River just kind of too far forward. I think he thought he was safe because the squad is around him, but everyone from Cloud9 is already there. River is kind of forced to ult in, ends up getting burst down. That 3-man ult from Vulcan making all the difference. Then look at Berserker, takes the Bard portal, ease over the wall. 100 Thieves in trouble again.
We are not done, gentlemen. Sniper caught in a bad spot as Fudge goes in and Meech goes down. second. Quid tries to retreat, but JoJo's got the perfect execution, and Berserker finds another kill. Sniper at least gets one back, finally shutting down the C980 carry, but it's still a 3-for-1 trade. It's still C9's fight.
Yeah, it's a 1K shutdown, which is going to feel nice, but at the end of the day, it's a 1K shutdown and you're still down 9,000 gold here. Cloud9 going to be able to take another dragon off the back of that. And they are just running away with this now. The item completion so heavily in their favor. You're looking across at all these different carries. It's +1 full item, it feels like, for almost all the key members here now.
This game is crazy, and it's fun to see because 100 Thieves are not going to lose lying down just to see this one through. So I guess at the end, Vi does try an ulti just to buffer through the Sejuani ult, which is already a mistake. At that point, you are already in a pretty bad position. So I guess we're just gonna have to watch this pentakill one more time.
Yeah, Berserker, really well played there. Playing with VULCAN on the side, so he portals over the wall, still has the E to jump over the second wall, and then with the Ghost active, with that ulti speed there, chasing down Quid, has the passive auto, zaps him down for the Penta. Does get killed, of course, in that next fight, but he is now on 4-4, has the tier 2 boots, of course, as well. And you can see Fudge on 4-4 as well. These guys are getting really, really strong. Cloud9, not a great early game, definitely having some issues here. But showcasing how well they can still team fight and how well they can work together in 5v5. It's maybe not a dominant game, but at the very least, they can be happy that they've been able to pull this one back.
Exactly, they're showing improvements, and we still have like that 2-week break that's going to happen, so just being able to scrim through a lot of it is going to help them tremendously. So like, we've showed a lot of replays about how, yeah, they're bot 2v2. Actually, they're going.
Wait, hold on, the Bard ulti's not gonna hit the mark this time, and JoJo gets shut down. Meech has the kill, and Blaber stuck on the front line. Second shot brings him back on in, and C9 have overplayed their hand. But now what about Berserker? He'll try to kite it out, fight it out, but no! Another play coming out from the Thieves, as Berserker gets all the health bars low, but none of them low enough. They'll lose Eyla in exchange for 4. C9 lose the fight, but Fudge takes the inhibitor in mid lane.
That low-key looked like it was almost going to be a pentakill again. They were getting so low. Hurricane Bolt splashing through. The ulti splash damage was coming through as well. 1 or 2 more seconds there for Berserker. I think he actually kills the whole team, and then the game is just ended by Fudge, who is down in mid lane. But a great job by 100 Thieves. They know they can't just sit back, allow themselves to just get kind of ran over. So they find a window to really get aggressive here, capitalizing on this failed ultimate there from VULCAN. They kill off JoJo. They all pile in. And Quid doing such a good job with that chase down. Finding the multi-man seismic shove was really nice.
Have to see that one more time because they are looking for Quid there. And yes, the first pickoff that they had on Akali does set the tone.
Yeah, but here it is now, kind of chasing after. They get those initial kills, and they say, you know what? We're going to send it. Quid goes forward, puts the E down, so gets the stun on the dash there, then the double fling. But watch this damage from Berserker. How close was he? What, needs 1, 2 more autos to probably kill the entire team there.
Yeah.
That was really close. If Quid missed him with the seismic shove or got the E out a split second later and didn't get the stun, I literally think he kills the whole team. And that is one of those montage double pentakill games here from Zeri. But they are able to get that kill. They are able to shut him down. And they're buying themselves a little bit more time. Because yes, they're still down 6K, but they've closed the gap a bit. And if they could ever win a fight and get soul, hey, that gold lead doesn't really matter anymore.
That gold lead still at about 6,000. C9 with the past 2 Drakes, they've managed to stop that soul with under 2 minutes until the next Drake spawns, but there's also under 90 seconds before Baron is back on the Rift 2. If Baron's not taken immediately, we're going to have one of those tricky situations where both the buffs are up at the same time, but 100 Thieves will be in the better spot because they'll get so much value if they can take the Drake themselves. I'm really curious how they're going to play this. The map is pretty dark, pretty scary if you're on the 100 Thieves side right now.
Yeah, and if you're Cloud9 side, now the lead's been getting chopped time and time again. Just to talk about team fights, any pick. Remember, Ghost on Berserker, no cleanse. Any pick. It could just be Meech's ulti. It could be River going in. Could immediately go into a flick from Quid, and that could just be Berserker off the map. And JoJo's been having a tough time trying to pick it. Now they're going for the turret. They're able to finally get it. But that's what Cloud9 has to deal with. This game's not just over just yet.
Turret down topside, 7,000 gold lead for C9. Recalls happening as the whole team is aware. It's Baron coming up soon, 30 seconds. You can see the pings. Plenty of vision placed down by C9 as they took that top lane tier 2. They want to make sure they're set up for this objective fight.
Yeah, Quid would really like to get towards his death cap, but he needs about 1,000 more gold, about 900, I think, in fact. So he's not quite there. He has the gold for the second rod, but not for the combine of the two just yet. Oh, but he's got to be careful.
Oh, 2 ults go out, 2 ults go wide. C9 looking for their chances. Jojo wants to make an entry here on the flank. Berserker is the MVP. That's the guy you got to keep your eyes on, as Blaber's going to be engaged on, and Jojo is killed in the smoke. Fudge tries to dive into the back line, but he ain't going to find the damage just yet. Berserker has to kite backwards. 100 Thieves found 3 kills. Berserker and VULCAN now seeing if they can get anything else. They want to allow the Zeri ulti to go away on 100 Thieves side. They don't want to fight Berserker in this. He's still trying to see what he might be able to pick up. 100 Thieves 5v2 are being pushed back by the 2. Berserker jumps over the wall, but he goes too far forward. Quid rides the wall trying to take him out, but the shutdown from Berserker as he burns away the ace for 1 for 100 Thieves.
They should be able to get soul now. They can go straight there. It is no one from Cloud9 alive here to be able to stop this, so they're going to be able to get sold. They're going for Baron as well. They're going to go for double objectives here. 100 Thieves. How about that turn onto Jojo, who was looking for the flank? He had the Shroud down, but River already had the ulti onto him, so as he goes into the smoke, they know exactly where he's going to be CC'd. Everyone nails the skill shots on the invisible Jojo. They burst him down immediately, and that sort of collapse, that sort of marking is exactly what 100 Thieves would have needed to get done to be able to take a fight like that. And now they've got it all. We got to watch this one more time. Just watch Jojo on the left side of your screen here, right over here. He's going to be looking for the entrance. He goes in, immediate ult, and then look at everything there. The Q from Sniper, the Q from Meech, the flip from Quid, everything nails him.
And the healing and shielding from 100 Thieves make it so much easier to deal with Fudge. Fudge didn't even feel like he could get close to killing Eyla there. But wow, it was so tough to deal with Berserker at the end of it.
Yeah, he has those ulti stacks. He has that ghost available. You know, knows he has to look for some sort of a big play. Doesn't want them to get the soul. Doesn't want them to get the Baron. But he gets tagged by that Q there from Meech. And it's enough damage with that burn to be able to knock him down. And now it's a little bit of desperation time here for Cloud9 as they're overloading the side lane, trying to see, can we find someone out here, try to get some sort of a pick. The luxury items are coming through on the other side. Now the death cap is completed. We have double GA as well for the top side from 100 Thieves, which is going to be that next massive fight for them.
40 minutes into this game, and I have no idea who's going to walk away with the dub.
It's a banger, man.
This one's going down to the wire. It's going to come down to the execution and whatever this final fight ends up being. 100 Thieves with control over the map here again for now. It had been such a stranglehold over the rift for Cloud9 for the past 5-10 minutes, but now it's right back in the Thieves' favor.
I mean, this gold graph, it went from about 5K in lead to 100 Thieves to about 9,000 ahead for C9 to now, oh, Quid caught.
Another huge ulti coming out from VULCAN, but Jojo is so low that he can't go in for any kind of a follow-up. Now the seismic shove to Blaber. He's going to drop. Meech kills him. Frontline down. Jojo hurt. He's got a recall. You're going to see a teleport also being used by 100 Thieves. Sniper bringing himself into the mid lane to get that enchanted, get that ready to go, and continue the push. They've got 40 seconds of a 5v4 for 100 Thieves.
C9 feel like they should still be able to fight this one, but 100 Thieves are going for the throat.
River just walking up, making sure that he has that presence, that he creates that space for 100 Thieves to keep the war machine pushing. C9 know they got to try to defend this, but Weaver's wall is going to make it hard. Jojo throws out the shuriken flip, but there's the unraveled earth. Ayla has to be ready here to protect these guys if C9 wants to go in, but right now, C9's just clearing out the waves. Another enchanted, baroned up minion wave comes in. A little bit more chip damage under the turret, but nothing huge just yet. Cozy Campfire, buffing up the Thieves. Sniper, eating a lot of turret shots. River unafraid of the Akali smoke. But with Blaber coming back to life, 100 Thieves decide to bail.
Yeah, this is one where maybe 100 Thieves, showing a little bit of inexperience there, trying to end in a position where it was going to be very difficult to do so. They could have likely gone through bot or top and secured a double inhib, pretty much guaranteed. Instead, they try to make the aggressive move. They try to go for the game ender. And it's going to mean they can't do it Cloud9 get the respawn on Blaber, and we're going to have another fight. We're going to very likely be going to an Elder where all of a sudden the soul advantage might not mean that much. You know, had 100 Thieves taken, say, a top inhib, it becomes way more difficult for Cloud9 to actually contest at that potential Elder, but that's not the situation we're living in. So Cloud9 are going to have another shot, and if they can get that perfect fight, you never know what can happen.
And you said it in the draft that it was going to be difficult for C9 to play into Taliyah's E. Like, how many dashes?
Insane.
He's been playing really well, and it's been difficult for C9 to take any opportunities off the Bard ultis or any picks that they had on Quid to begin with. So that fight that they had in top lane, sure, the healing that came from Redemption from Eyla made it easy, but jojopyun just didn't find an angle.
We are seeing so many builds get completed now. Sniper just got his 6th item. Fudge has been on 6 items. Berserker's been there for a year and a half. Meech also almost hitting that full build point. These champions are locked and loaded.
They are, but look at Jojo. He's on 3.5, right? Like, he still needs to.
There's a reason I didn't list him.
Yeah, but that's my point, right? And it's a big deal because he is having so much difficulty entering these team fights. You know, he's down now 130 CS to where Quid is. He's not being able to pick up the kills. Unless he finds that perfect flank, it is so difficult. And we even saw him on a good flank angle in mid lane. He can die 100-0 in the Shroud. That is the reality of his situation. So he needed to get that arm guard to have that stasis. It is that one-time use stasis here to try to immune things like the Vi ultimate, you know, to be able to try to stay alive in that Shroud. But it's just been so hard for him to really have any value with this pick.
All right, 100 Thieves. Let's see how they're going to play this one. They get the wave shoved up into the inhibitor turret of top lane, but they cannot force anything further just yet. It's about 1 minute and change until both the Baron and the Elder are live at the same time.
So we see Berserker now. He's actually made an item change. He was already 6 items. He sold the BT and bought an LDR. How do you feel about that, Res?
Difficult one. I actually would have just liked the BT a little bit more. I don't think you're punching through too much armor in this game right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, obviously you're going to get the kind of like HP bonus damage.
Yeah.
People have a lot more health. You're going to get that flat bonus. So it is kind of just, you know, a little bit riskier, obviously not having that additional life steal. And you're kind of betting on the fact that, hey, I can position well, I can avoid damage. I'm not going to need the additional life steal past what I have from the shield bow and my runes.
Yeah.
And trading that for a little bit higher DPS. So higher risk, higher reward, and we'll see if it pays off for him.
The best survivability is to kill all the other guys.
True.
Then there's no way that you're going to face any serious threats. C9 try to get themselves back out onto the map now. Seismic shove, not going to find the target. Zeri zap also missing as it fires through the ruins of that tier 1 turret. 100 Thieves making sure they stay past the river, guaranteeing that they're the ones applying the pressure. Baron and Elder both about to spawn.
No shot you trade Baron for Elder, though. That's
coming out from 100 Thieves, yeah.
Go down to bot side.
Yeah, they're like, you can't just straight rush for the Baron. That's not, I don't think that's going to work.
The Elder's just way stronger.
Yeah.
You need to contest Elder, and now Cloud9 have full positioning. 100 Thieves sacrifice that.
C9 are just starting this one up, but they are not going to try to immediately burn it down. They're just trying to bring 100 Thieves to them. River coming around from the side, but Blaber's ulti misses. River finds Berserker, but he's all alone. River's going to have to revive now with the Guardian Angel as Quid gets locked into the stasis. Jojo buying a little time by himself, but there's shutdown on the enemy jungle. Goes over to Berserker, snipers into the back line. He needs Berserker, but he ain't going to find him. Another Guardian Angel gets procced. Berserker is on the run. Jojo maybe still looking for an angle here off to the left. 100 Thieves lose a man, but they got pretty good health bars, and they've got Ocean Soul. They're back into the river.
Exactly, that's where the Ocean Soul is going to come into play here. Jojo's going to base, though, heal back up, and he's going to TP in. Berserker's pushing out bot lane, healing up off of that, and we'll have to see, can 100 Thieves find this re-engage here? They're trying to wait for River, and Cloud9 can just play the waves. They got to answer Berserker right now, or they're going to be losing their base, but if they go for Berserker, then they're going to lose the Elder, and Cloud9 feel like they're putting 100 Thieves in a checkmate.
I love the macro calls here from C9, applying this pressure in multiple different points. Meech and Eyla, again, just trying to keep the remaining C9 players away, but it's Quid in the enemy base. Quid now back on that mid lane inhibitor of C9. He's going to kill it in 5 auto attacks. There it goes. Jojo had to go back and try to defend that one, and C9 is right back onto it now. A TP going into the enemy base from 100 Thieves as all of C9 is fighting for the Elder Dragon. Quid and Sniper are just trying to end it. Jojo needs the damage, but he doesn't have it here just yet. Sniper wants to go for the Nexus. Jojo is trying to burn him down. The Elder Dragon's not going to be taken, but neither will the Nexus. A double kill for Meech back in the Drake pit. It's 2 dead on 100 Thieves. It's 2 dead on C9 as Berserker tries to kite away. A triple kill for Meech.
I think 100 Thieves are going to win. They're going to go straight down mid lane, but there's pings. Jojo has TP, but I don't think he can actually race this. They're calling for the assist pings. He's going to TP and try to end the game. Here he goes. He's going right now. The 100 Thieves base, are they trying to go for the end?
It's a base race. Fudge trying to defend 1v3 as Jojo makes his way over the next turret. Jojo looking for it. 100 Thieves marching in now. Jojo with a minion wave. He's got one Nexus turret left to go, but he won't get there in time. 100 Thieves take the win.
That was a hell of a game from 100 Thieves and Cloud9. It had it all. It had solo kills. It had drama. It had back and forth team fights. It had base races. What more could you want from a game of League of Legends?
That was insane. I mean, Akali had to base for super minions too. They realized that there was a tough situation even after the kill on River. It wasn't free. Even after the mistake the 100 Thieves made going for Baron instead of Elder, they recovered, they found an angle, Taliyah went mid, and Sniper followed.
Man, I want to see what happened at that Elder fight because I was so locked in on if Sniper was going to be able to end the game, and I see him dying off at the Nexus on that initial play. What happened on the other side for Cloud9 that it went so bad there? Because when we looked back down, or at least when I looked back down there, it was only Berserker alive. 100 Thieves had completely wiped the map with them. You know, Meech ends up with that triple kill. How did that go so pear-shaped for Cloud9? Because I thought after they defended that TP play into the base, after they defended that, I thought they were going to get Elder. I thought they were going to win the game.
True. I don't know. That we have to look back at that.
I want to see that clip really, really badly and see, you know, what happened around the Elder, because that was nuts. Okay, here it is. So we're actually going to get it. So this is after they've TP'd back to try to defend. So it's Fudge, VULCAN, Blaber, and Berserker here. And they're trying to actually defend as Eyla goes forward, Meech goes forward. Blaber is just committing in on towards this dragon. He threw that Sejuani ult out, but it's just cleansed off by Eyla. Berserker's still hitting the Elder. I do not know why Cloud9 did not try to turn. They get basically 2v3'd in this situation. VULCAN then not retreating. Meech just goes forward, takes him down as well. And then from here, we knew what happened because River does return, and it's Berserker getting caught out as Eyla flashes over the wall. This is Cloud9. I seriously wonder, were they even watching what was going on at the Elder, or were they watching the base race too? Like, were they actually seeing, you know, panicking and kind of overwhelmed in the comms of the moment? Because that's a situation where that was a clear turn. Like, you do not burn the Elder. The Elder still had like 8k health, and Berserker's still hitting it.
It was a crazy game. It was a crazy ending, and it's time to join Jatt and Eyla on stage for an interview.
Thank you very much, Eyla. Banger game. How do you feel after that one?
Yeah, it was a banger game. I mean, I tweeted about it. 100 Thieves games are always like this. Just expect it. We can't avoid it.
Why is this happening? You guys had a big lead, then Berserker gets a pentakill, then you get Soul, and then the base race happens at the end. How was the environment and the comms like within the game?
Yeah, so usually we always have like a really good early game. We're smurfing, we're doing well in lane, like River's getting really good engages off. We're in like a very solid state to win the game. I think it's just our inexperience. We make a lot of mistakes. We're willing to push the tempo up and like position forward, and I think a lot of times that bit us in the back, but I mean, it's just how we are as a team. We like to do that, and we just throw our leads.
I mean, not that often. You're 6-3. Second place in the LCS. How does that align with the expectations you had when you joined this team?
I mean, I don't think anyone expected this. I knew we would be better than people thought because a lot of people rate us like way lower than we think our individual skill is. I just think we just mesh together so well, and our coaches are like really pushing us to play better that we're just performing so good right now.
Congratulations once again. I just want to check in. Do you know the all-time record between you and VULCAN?
I do not know.
Well, now it's 5-3. So congratulations on another win.
I'm winning?
You're winning 5-3.
Nice.
All right, thank you, Eyla. Congratulations on the win. Dig versus Energy is up next. But first, let's take a look at our LCS Connected Comms replay presented by AT&T and voted on by Chat.
Look back. Go flash. Kill back. I'll take the rest. Varus the Fudge, guys. Varus the Fudge. I'm portaling in. Okay. I'm on Varus. Hey, Aatrox, please.
Yeah, I'm looking Aatrox.
We can end mid. I'm finishing Aatrox and then mid. Don't let me die. Give me. Hey, pen.
Yeah, I'll try. He has no stop push,
Do we have 30 seconds? Yes, we need that. We can't end with Zeri does this. No, we can. Go. Jordan, what are you doing?
I was watching Zeri.
Hey, Berserker, can we in? You did. No, go Baron. No, we can't. Go Baron.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
No, yes, I'm 100% sure.
Okay,
20-second rule. I learned from Nitty. Okay.
I chase Zeri.
I don't end, by the way. I don't end.
It's fine, it's fine.
Zeri here, I saw.
Yeah. I kill Zeri.
Kill him.
No flash, no flash.
Can you guys end?
Yeah, we can. Go.
We can ult.
Olaf no.
Ult, Akali no ult.
Akali no ult.
How long cooldown, mate? Isn't it gonna be up?
No.
Never up. Just.
TP.
Akali no.
Space, no?
Go, front, go.
Just
Guys. They don't have TP, guys. They don't have.
Just sprint it. He does no damage to tower. Just like go. Oh my god. Just freaking hit him, by the way. Yeah. GG.
Holy.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You ready?
I think so.
Yeah, just remember, stay in your lane, keep your vision up at all times. Time is going to be everything here, so you don't want to go too fast, but you also don't want to be...
Hey, I got this.
Yeah, I think you do.
And Mark, thanks.
Whoa, hey, no, whoa, no. You're not taking my car. My Kia EV9? No way. No touching!
Ay, can't stop, won't stop till we on top. Quit, I think not. Coming hot for the #1 spot, yeah. No key, got the game on lock, ayy. Big threes when I take my shot, ayy. On the rise and we ain't gon' drop on the grind. It's our time, just watch. If you want it, you can get it. Life gets hard, but don't you let it get you down. Go get the crown because our time is now. Hey, we gotta get it. Gotta get up, gotta go, we gotta